the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Outstanding, Gene.
One of the greatest congressmen in the United States of America from the 1st Congressional District in Connecticut. I used to tell everybody what a good congressman John Larson was. Then, when I retired from the Senate 8 years ago, I got a telephone call, and it was from the good congressman. He said, "Billy, how about coming to work in my staff part-time? We could use you." I said, "John, I don't know if I can do that or not. I have to check with my Irish wife first." He said, "Don't worry about that. I already checked with her. She said for me to take you." So that's how I got there. Now, how am I going to stand up against two Irishmen like that? But the day John Larson really became a great, great congressman was the day he put me on his payroll. So thank you very much. Now, my first line for this evening was to have Lucy Marotta stand up and be acknowledged, but the congressman already did that, so I'll have to pass by that in my speech. First, I want to say a few words about a man of great stature and influence, a man of tremendous intelligence and dignity, a man who was unmatched in his commitment to public service. But Billy DeBill is here tonight, but the party's not for him, so it's for Billy, that was meant for you. It's very fitting tonight that we gather in the shadow of one of Al's greatest political achievements, the sewer treatment facility plant. That's right, folks. That aroma smelling is not overcooked lobster. It's coming from down the road from the plant. Al had nothing to do with that. Of course, the MDC will take all the credit. Many of you know that because of Al's great surveying and engineering skills, he was often relied on by the city of Hartford for zoning and siting advice. Seriously, Al, what were you thinking when we designed the South Meadows? A restaurant, a motel, an airport, a farmer's market, and the accumulation of all the human waste in the greater Hartford region. Thanks a lot, great planning. Actually, though, Al and I share many, many similarities. Both of us were the son of Italian immigrants, but things kind of went in different directions. Al's father sold fruit and vegetables on a push cart on the old east side on Front Street. My father sold bleach water throughout the streets of Hartford. Al was an altar boy at St. Anthony's Church. I used to arrive late for Mass, and I always sat in the back pew. Al shined shoes at St. Giles and had money in his hand pocket. And I gambled my money away on dice behind Mandel's drugstore on Front Al graduated from Buckley High School with high honors. I went to Buckley High School, and Dr. Feingold, the principal, in 1947, that's 67 years ago, asked me to leave. After I got my diploma, however. Al got a job with the state at the DOT, and I became a teletype operator at the DMV. Yes, Al eventually went to college for 9 years at night and got a college engineering degree and a surveyor's license. But Al, I hate to tell you this, after all these years, all those degrees and fancy telescopes you use for surveying, none of that ever got anyone a 2-digit license plate. That's a pretty good one. I like that. Some of you may know that Al has a crazy obsession with elections. I actually went and checked his resume. In the 1970s, he ran for and was 3 times elected president of the Connecticut State Employees Association. At that time, was the largest state employee union in the state. He then ran for the city council, deputy mayor, state representative, the city council again, and was also appointed to the MDC as a commissioner. Al even went to the city clerk's office one day recently and asked John Bazzano, who's sitting right here next to Congressman Larson, is there any office left that I haven't run for that I could still and put my name for it? John paused a minute, thought, you know, Al, he said, we're going to have some opening soon, and I register our voters on it. That's another pretty good one, too. Many of us know that Al and others were very instrumental in establishing the city-sister relationship between Hartford and Floridian Sicily. Well, when Al first went over there, he happened to be the first one off the plane. And the officials in Sicily, not knowing, assumed that he was the mayor and saluted him with an honor and toasted him into the night. Leave it to Al that to this day, no one in Florida has yet figured out that he's not the mayor. He was just the first guy off the airplane. In all seriousness, I'm so grateful to be here tonight to welcome Al Marotta to a very exclusive club. In this club, you still read the print edition of the newspaper, and what you like best is the 50 years ago today column. You want to shoot your Rangers golf, but you end up shooting your weight. Your favorite romantic song is now a laxative commercial. And in this club, you're not elderly, you're now chronologically gifted. This club, Al, that you and I you're joining, is not reached with schooling or titles or wealth. No, tonight, you join me in that special 80-plus-year-old club. Welcome to the club. And before I sit down, I just want to say personally, Al Marotta has probably worked more tirelessly than any individual in the city of Hartford to keep on the Italian traditions and culture. Were it not for Al Marotta, there would not be many, many scholarships every year given to needy children. His work in the Columbus Day Parade, his work in the Italian community, his work in the trips to Florida and the sister city bases. Everything he does from his heart. Al has a heart as big as a hotel. There's room for everybody, and he's proven that day in, day out. I'm proud to be called your friend. I'm proud to be here tonight to speak for you. Al, good luck, happy birthday. And being 80 is not so bad. I'll be 85 Christmas Day. It's a blessing from above, and thank you all very much.
I go around telling people I'm 66, going to be 67. Now they blew it out of the coop. But when I grew up on the old east side, they start calling me the Fonz. And all the people that were there used to like the Boston, no, the Yankees, New York Yankees. So maybe it's why I am, they used to call me Fonz, but they hit me a few times in the head, and we didn't have any hard helmets in those days. And I saw some stars. And I said, what'd you do that for? He said, don't you understand, Paisan? You're supposed to be for the Yankees. I said, I'm for the Red Sox and Don DiMaggio. That's who I'm for. Well, anyway, I was taught at the old Brown School where the city garage is now. But before that, I had to learn Latin on Market Street from the sisters and St. Anthony's. They used to have weddings, funerals during school day in the morning until the principal called up and he wanted to talk to my parents, and they didn't understand English. To tell them that if I kept on devoting more time to the church, they'd have to let me out of school because I didn't have enough hours there. But I want to say one thing. I enjoyed living on the east side because every Sunday morning, next door to where I live, 148 is no longer there. That's part of Constitution Plaza. But 148, every Sunday morning, they had a velvet board that used to fold with flaps. And he used to play these dice games. And Willie Pep, God bless his soul, used to come down and donate. And they maybe clean them out in an hour and a half. But we used to go there as little kids, stick our hands between the legs of those playing and try to draw out some big bills. Well, anyway, they used to tighten up and say, hey, son, here, take this $10, go across the street to Roma, buy 6 Cokes. So we thought it was an emergency. So we go across the street on Temple Street, buy the 6 Cokes, bring them over. And the guy says, don't you get it? Keep the change and take the 6 Cokes and get lost. But these people were so dedicated to do what they were doing right on Temple Street, a half a block away from the police station and Central Firehouse on Market and Temple, that they had to hire a motorcycle guy on Sunday to see if there's any undercover agents going to raid them or take their money. And he put them out in front of the house. And as soon as he saw something that didn't look right, he turned on the motorcycle and everybody jump over the fence, go in my father's coal bin on 148 Temple Street on the second floor and hide. But I learned from that, and I learned from not being a Yankee, and I moved to the south end of Hartford and started over there in the 5th grade at St. Augustine's, but ran into Father Keene and some people over there and joined the Boys Brigade and played the drums. All of a sudden, one day, we were inside Berry Hall, and there was a wet tennis ball, and we kept on banging it down, making little dots on the ceiling. And he made us freeze, and he took down all our names. He said, tell your parents to come. Well, my father just got rid of the push cart. He was over at Underwood. He's never coming. My mother didn't understand English, so I left it alone. Well, the second time something happened, it threw me out of school, so I had to end up walking the Naylor down George Street, next to Buckley Stadium, my next favorite. And all of a sudden, the people in the South End got wise and wanted to know if I was a Yankee fan. I told them no, Red Sox, and they hit me again a couple more times. That's why I'm still off, you know. But anyway, they used to call me the Fonz, and we had all kinds of parties on Preston. And I still have my father's house, and that's where the pushcart wheel came from. And I said, Dad, on Front Street, right now it's Columbus Boulevard and State. How the heck did you get away with 3 wagons, one person? Nobody stole fruit or vegetable. No, and one wagon was loaded for fruit and vegetable for 3 o'clock to go around the corner of Mechanic Street for the tobacco warehouses. And so I used to go back there with my shoe shine box, and I still have it. Brad Davis was trying to get it for the Historical Society. And I said, Brad, you don't understand. Once a week I shine my shoes. And he said, yeah, but we need it. That says 1950. It was the last time, that's right, when I jumped the bus on Franklin Avenue because I moved to the South End in 1948 on Preston and George Street. And we used to go get foul balls from George Crow and Hartford Chiefs down the end of George Street at Buckley Stadium. And they wanted us to give them the balls back. We said we needed those to break windows. We could get into the ballpark anytime we wanted. We had tunnels dug underneath the fence in right field so we can go in anytime for free. But anyway, we grew up with a real bunch of great people. And as I was going through my album on where the wagon wheel was on George Street, it said the Italian American imported stuff. And imported, we had all kinds of people that were immigrants from Italy. And we used to have the greatest parties in the world on the second floor at 185 Preston and George. I still have my father's fig tree there. And I wanted to say to all the ladies, Lucy and Pina and Josephine and Maria and my comadre Tina, we used to have great times on Sunday. I used to take my parents with a car to New Britain, leave them at my aunt's, and they'd come back and start up the jazz on the second floor. And we used to have a great time. But then I got to meet the love of my life and my wife. 4 years. I graduated from State Tech with a degree in technical engineering. It took me 4 years to do 2 years because I went at night because I got a nice job at DOT in 1955 after high school. But I just want to say one thing. I learned a lot from my wife and their family. They were immigrants. And before I could take her out, I had to bring 2 chaperones at least, 2 or 3. And I like to go, and that's why I got my outfit on. I used to like to go on Sunday to the State Theater. I didn't have any homework, it was all caught up. And the State Theater for 50 cents, you used to see Fats Domino, the Rock and Rollers, and the Twist. But I used to have to go to my future father-in-law's house and bring my comadre Tina or some other person, at least 2. And I had to pay 50 cents, and it was a live show and a movie, but I had to pay for 4 people, me, her, and 2 others. If I didn't do that, she said, you can't take Lucia out. You stay home. Well, we did that for 4 years, man. I couldn't even take her out with my friends alone in toboggan at Goodwin Park, but we had a great time in the South End. And some of the friends are here, and I thank you for coming. And you know, and the other people are my friends, but I call them part of my family that came tonight. to honor my 80th. And I only agreed to do it if it was in Hartford, and it was also going to be used for a cause, which I went for leukemia lymphoma and worked on it with my son's treatment for over 6 years. And also Buckley High School, now it's on Wethersfield Avenue, because I did my cross country at 106 pounds track and cross country running. And Flash Atlin was my coach. And then Mr. Babe Allen said to me, Marotta, you're fast, so we're going to put you on the football team. And that's where it really got punishment. Nick Carbone and BD and all those guys are supposed to block, and I'm supposed to make it around the end. And back at Buckley High School on Maple Avenue with that hard red rock, well, I went up in the air and came down and hit my head. I had another concussion. And that's the way I am today. But, you know, but we had a great time. And finally, in 1960, I got married, and I said to Lucy, I says, okay, we're getting married next year on your birthday. She says, why, you cheapskate? You want to buy me one gift just for my birthday? I said, no, my dad was June 11th, you're June 11th, so then I'll remember to buy you a gift, but I'll buy you two. So it's been 54 years I've been buying her 2 gifts, but thank her for putting up with me, and my whole family, and all of you for coming. But the last thing I want to tell you is I'm not really going to read anything because I like to do it off the cuff. I have pages written what I was going to say. But I just want to tell everyone that I'm not retired. I don't plan to be retired. And there's 5 points I want to accomplish still in my life. First of all, I want to continue working for the MDC board on the Clean Water Project. And we have a great chairman and a great staff over at MDC. And I represent Hartford. And we're doing it. We're separating that sewage and we're cleaning up the water and make it, we have the best water around the area now. We're going to make it clean, so I'm going to stay on until the Clean Water Project is completed. My next step is my old neighborhood. Temple Street's still there, but it only goes from Main down one way to Market. And that corner used to be the police station. Well, right next door, I used to go there every Saturday, like I said, from 58 until 58. I'll be all right. 48 until 50, Shining Shoes. It was 15 cents. Well, that corner is now no longer Fun Street. We got a new Fun Street, which is great behind City Hall. But they call it Columbus Boulevard. Well, Columbus Boulevard in the corner of State Street, where my father had his wagons, 3 wagons, where I shined shoes until after 1950, and used to take a bus from the South End and shine shoes, 15 cents. That corner is in the heart of my district. And right now, I'm working with AI and Mr. Abul Islam to try to put not only 100 and something employees on that corner where Channel 3 used to be in that hole, but I want some residents living there in my old neighborhood. I also want some shops and stores to be built there. So he's getting help right now from state of Connecticut and the city of Hartford. And I'm going to make sure that's on the agenda, that I keep working on that until it's completed. Third, I want to continue South Hartford for small businesses, improving not only Franklin Avenue, the whole South End, improving small businesses, housing, and also streetscape. And working with our senators and representatives, you should be able to do that. Continue my involvement as chairman of the Columbus Day IAC, Italian American Celebration, honoring Columbus, and we give out scholarships. And last year we gave 7 $1,000 scholarships. But one thing the mayor's trying to help me do, a 1 hour and 15-minute parade, $10,000 on Sunday. I might have next year with the committee move the parade to Wethersfield and bring it 1 block into Hartford. But the mayor's trying to help me. Thank you, Mayor. I'll still fight for that. And the last thing I want to do is to tell you, all of you people, about what we're doing about Sister City and try to improve the exchange of culture with Italy and Hartford, Connecticut. We'll continue doing that and get more people involved. And the last thing is coming up December 4th on a Thursday, the South Hartford annual sing-along is going to be at 390 Franklin Avenue, 6 to 9. We have the schools there, St. Augustine, Naylor, and Belize. And you're welcome to join us because you know what? We have some nice chestnuts that we roast with a bogey vino. And so you're all invited. It's open, it's free. And the last thing we're trying to do is continue our South Hartford trolley, starting that Friday after Thanksgiving next week, and running it from Weathersfield, Old Weathersfield, into Hartford, South End, down Washington Street to Bushnell Park for the ice skating and the lights down at Bushnell Park. So we're working with the senator to try to get our funding from that. And with that, I'm going to shut up and say thank you all very, very much. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Thank Diana for being here and all you guys. I appreciate it. On the 27th, which is next Thursday, that's Turkey Day. And when I was born, it was Turkey Day. And my father had bought a raffle ticket from the cop, and guess what? I won a turkey. That's why